And that brings us to the story number 8, countdown to the conclave. The stove has been installed in the Sistine Chapel, where those all-important ballots will be burned during the process to choose a new pope. It's been a busy week at the Vatican as cardinals prepare to be sequestered, cut off from the rest of the world as they make the most important decision within the Catholic Church. This is going to be interesting. The thing is that so many people are looking and analyzing the Elite Eight, as I call it, to use a March Madness reference, on the road to selecting the next pope. Some people actually are saying, you know what, we don't know whether it should go right or left or be centrist, but we know a new pope will be selected. So here to talk about it, we're joined today by Logan Church. He's a political director at the Catholic Vote, and Mary FioRito. She's a senior fellow at the Catholic Association. Welcome.
Thank you.
So a lot of preparations are going on for the conclave, including the simple stove to burn the ballots. The cardinals will sit at simple wooded tables and cast their votes. So all these preparations taking place as the real buzz on the street is about who will replace Pope Francis. What happens on the first day of the conclave? Let's start with you. Let's start with you, Mary.
Yes, well, what happens at the election of a new pope is actually a liturgical act, and that's the important thing to keep in mind, and non-Catholics may not know that. So once the cardinals go into that chapel, and there's a reason it's held in a chapel and not in another different building at the Vatican, the reason it's held in a chapel is because it's a liturgical moment. And so the cardinals will go in, they will pray, and then they will vote. And then we'll see the outcome of that vote. And then if there's not a 2/3 majority reached, they'll return to prayer and then they'll vote again. So this is very much a time of prayer and of seeking God's intercession and God's advice, if you will, and asking God to help the cardinals to know what his will is for the church going forward.
Interesting. So what are the cardinals and parishioners looking for in a candidate to be the next pope?
Well, I think that depends on what country you come from, right? As Americans, we would have a very different set of priorities and expectations than, say, Catholics in Nigeria would have, and where we're seeing the church very much persecuted, Catholics being locked in their churches and set on fire when they're just trying to go to Easter services, for example. So it's helpful for us as Americans to remember that this is an international, worldwide church, and that the new pope, whoever he might be, has to keep the expectations and the needs of all of those people in mind when he governs.
So, Logan, what's your response?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Mary on that. As you look across the different countries who have their own opinions on what the next papal seat should look like, everyone has their own opinion, but we have to keep in mind the Pope is supposed to be an individual who is going to give guidance to the church of what it looks like to be a Catholic in the 21st century. And that's what we're really looking for. I think you have so many young people who are looking for clarity and guidance in this next age of Catholicism. And what does it mean to hold the timeless truth of the Catholic Church in today's day and age?
Interesting. So sorry we ran out of time, Logan. You'll get more time next time. Logan Church and Mary FioRito, thank you so much for joining us.